Okay, let us begin. So, in the previous class, we had stopped up to paragraph number 24. The last line was, please God, make him think I'm still pretty. Della prayed to God to make her beloved husband Jim, to think that she was still pretty. Paragraph number 25. The door opened and Jim stepped in and closed it. He looked thin and very serious. Poor fellow, he was only 22 and to be burdened with a family. He needed a new overcoat and he was without gloves. See, children, in this paragraph, the door opened and Jim stepped in and closed it. Yes, Jim entered. Jim entered the room and he closed the door. He was not happy. He was somewhat serious. Poor fellow. The writer says that he was poor fellow. He was only 22. What was his age? He was just 22. And to be burdened with a family. He had to take the burden of the family. He needed a new overcoat and he was without gloves. This shows the pitiable condition of Jim and Della. At the same time, Jim's economy. Jim, then paragraph number 26. So, in the previous paragraph, he needed an overcoat. What was in need? He was in need of an overcoat. He was in need of an overcoat, but he was without clothes. That was the pitiable condition of Jim. Jim stopped inside the door, as immovable as a setter at the scent of quail. His eyes were fixed upon Della, and there was an expression in them that she could not read, and it terrified her. So, what the writer says here, Jim stopped inside the door. How did he stop? As immovable as a setter. What is meant by a setter? Setter, you would have seen the dog which is trained, right? A dog trained to remain motionless at the scent of a bird to be hunted. You would have seen the dogs which will hunt. They will be trained. So they will be trained and they remain motionless when they see the hunting bird, right? When they see the bird which is to be hunted. Like that dog, like a setter who stood, Jim stood. Jim stopped inside the door as immovable. He didn't move. As a setter at the scent of quail. Quail is a small bird. Our trained dog stops immovable or motionless when it gets the scent of a quail, which is to be hunted. Like that, here Jim stopped immovably. He was immovable. His eyes were fixed upon Della. Here, upon is the more formal term of the preposition on. His eyes were fixed upon Della, and there was an expression in them. In what? In his eyes that could not read, and it terrified her, who was terrified by looking at his eyes. Della was terrified. It was not anger nor surprise. Kindly underline this. It was not anger, not surprise, nor disapproval, nor horror, nor any of the sentiments that she had been prepared for. Yes, Della was prepared to face Jim because she had thought that he would scold her, but nothing happened. The sentiments, it was not anger. When she looked at his eyes, she did not find any anger in his eyes. Nor surprise. It was not a surprise too. Nor disapproval. Even his actions were not showing any disapproval. Nor horror. It was not horror too. Nor any of the sentiments she had been she had been prepared for. She had been prepared for all this, but nothing was there. He was very cool and calm, but he was serious. He simply stared at her fixedly with that peculiar expression on his face, with that same peculiar expression. He fixed his eyes upon Della. He was immovable. He was somewhat serious. He did not show any surprise. He did not show any disapproval. Nothing. Della wriggled off the table and went for him. What did Della do? Della very quickly, she moved very quickly, and she went near her beloved husband Jim. Paragraph number 28. Jim darling, she cried. Don't look at me that way. I had my hair cut off and sold because I couldn't have lived through Christmas without giving you a present. It will grow out again. You won't mind, will you? I just had to do it. My hair grows awfully fast. Say Merry Christmas, Jim, and let's be happy. You don't know what a beautiful, nice gift I have got for you. Well, how did she cry? She cried by saying, Jim, darling, with love, with the deepest love. She cried. She called him as darling. Don't look at me that way. She told him to not to look at her like that. I had my hair cut off. Yes, she had her hair cut off. And she had sold it. For what? She couldn't have lived through Christmas without giving you a present, without giving him a present. She couldn't have lived. See, children, here, Della, ironically, she says this. Can't we live without giving gifts to others? We can live. Even she too could have lived. But with ironically, she says she couldn't have lived through Christmas without giving him a present. Without giving him a present, she wouldn't have lived. Because since many years she had been giving, and on that day too, on the day of Christmas too, she had to give a present to him. She had to present a gift. It will grow out again. Now she consoles her beloved husband Jim in each and every statement. It will grow out again. Yes, it will grow. Don't worry. You won't mind. I hope. I know. I'm sure that you will not mind. Will you? I just had to do it. Yes, she had to do it. But why? May I know why? Preeti? Preeti?
Sir,
See, she says, I just had to do it. Right? But why?
हाँ
Why did she sell her hair? Why did she sell her precious possession, the long hair?
to give the gift for his for her husband
Yes,
Jem.
But there was $1.87.
Sir, it is not enough to buy.
Yes, exactly. It was not enough. The money was not enough to buy the best present for her husband. So that is why, okay, Preeti. So that's why, what did she do? She had to go to lose her hair. She had to sell her hair. You don't know what a beautiful, nice gift I have got for you. Yes, he didn't know that the gift what she had got for her, sorry, for him. It was so beautiful. It was the nicest gift. It was very nice. 29 paragraphs. You have cut off your hair? Asked Jim laboriously, as if he had not arrived at that patent fact yet, even after the hardest mental labor. What is meant by laboriously? The meaning of the word laboriously is taking a lot of time. See, Jim and Della both were facing each other. Jim was observing her, but still he didn't come to know that she had lost her hair. Completely, he was absent minded. Underline the statement, kindly underline the statement, you have cut off your hair, asked Jim. What did Jim ask? Jim asked whether she had cut off her hair laboriously by taking a lot of time. He just asked. He asked her whether she had cut off her hair. As if he had not arrived. He had not arrived to the point what she was going to mean, what she was going to convince him. Yet, even after the hardest mental labor, so here the present mental state of Jim, who is experiencing the least expected incident of his life, he had not expected it. By taking a lot of time, he asked her whether she had cut off her hair. Neeraj,
Sir,
don't look at me that way. Who said this to whom? Don't look at me that way. Who said this to whom?
sir, Ella said this to Jim.
Okay, good. Yashaswini, you have cut off your hair.
Yes,
Who
sir.
said this to whom?
Jim said this to Della.
Okay, fine. Now, finally, he came to know that she had cut off her hair. And then, in the next paragraph, Della continues her words. Cut it off and sold it. Cut it off and sold it, said Della. Don't you like me just as well, anyhow? I am me without my hair, ain't I? Now, I once again, Della told him that she had cut off her hair. She had cut it off and she had sold it. She asked him whether he didn't like her just as well, just in that form, just without her hair. Didn't he like her? I am me. Yes, she was Stella, just without her hair. She was the beloved wife of Jim. Jim looked about the room curiously. Being curious, once again he observed the room. He observed the room like this. and repeatedly. Once again, he said, "You say your hair is gone?" He said, with an air almost of idiocy. So, like an idiot, Jim said, "You say your hair is gone." He asked her whether she had lost her hair, whether her hair has gone, whether her hair has gone. You say your hair is gone, yes. Is it gone? You needn't look for it. So, children, just wait for a minute. Am I audible to you? So, somebody has a message, sent a message here that the network issue is there with me. If you are not audible to me, just raise your hands so that I could solve the problem. Am I audible to you all? Sorry for an error. Some Preeti has sent me that the network issue is there with me. If all are facing the problem, then I could solve it. Others are not responding. No problem. I'll continue. You needn't look for it, said Della. It is sold. I tell you, sold and gone too. It's Christmas Eve, boy. Be good to me, for it went for you. Maybe the hairs of my head were numbered. She went on with sudden serious sweetness. But nobody could ever count my love for you. Shall I put the chops on, Jim? See, Della, in each and every moment, she is trying to convince him that her hair grows fast. You needn't look for it, said Della. So you don't look for it. No need to look for that hair. It is already gone, my dear beloved husband. It is gone. It is sold. I tell you, yes, she told him that she had sold it. And gone too, yes, it was gone. It's Christmas Eve. They were on the day of Christmas Eve. They were on the day of on they were on 24th of December and were waiting for Christmas. Christmas Eve, boy. Be good to me. My dear husband, be good to me. For it went for you. For whom it went for? The long hair of Della went for her husband. It was sold for her husband. Maybe the hairs of my head were numbered. See here, Della so the writer takes the biblical allusion to the words of Della, and Della says, maybe the hairs of my head were numbered. Actually, it is said by Della. Here, the writer, through Della, makes the biblical allusion. So, actually, in the Bible, it is mentioned. There is a statement. Indeed, the very hairs of your head are all numbered. In the chapter of Luke, you can read this. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. Means that is the biblical statement here Della takes. Maybe the hairs of my my head were numbered, were counted. And she went with sudden serious sweetness. With a sudden serious sweetness, she moves forward. But nobody could ever count my love for you. Yes, other people couldn't count her love towards her husband. Shall I put the chops on, Jim? Yeah. She asked her husband that she would prepare the food for her husband and for her too. Yes, she would put the chops on. Out of his trance, Jim seemed quickly to wake. He unfolded his Della for 10 seconds. Let us regard with discreet scrutiny some inconsequential object in the other direction. $8 a week or a million a year. What is the difference? A mathematician or a wit would give you the wrong answer. The Magi brought valuable gifts, but that was not among them. This dark assertion will be illuminated later on. Children, here in this paragraph, underline the sentence: a mathematician or a wit would give you the wrong answer. A mathematician or a wit would give you the wrong answer. Now let us discuss. Out of his trance. What is meant by trance? Trance means a mental state in which a person is unaware of the environment. Already you have seen that Jim was unaware of the present environment. He didn't come to know that one of a sudden that his wife had lost her hair or she had sold her hair. Slowly he came to know that, right? Now from that environment, from that environment of being unaware of the environment, he came out. He enfolded. What does mean by enfolded? He hugged his wife. Enfolded means hug. He hugged his wife for 10 seconds. Now the writer comes to us and says, for 10 seconds, let us regard with this great scrutiny some inconsequential object in the other direction. The writer, O. Henry, takes us to the other direction now. Now, the writer says here, $8 a week or a million a year. What is the difference? $8 and 1 million. Okay, I would like to go with Akshay. Akshay, Akshay, $8 a week or a million a year. Is there any difference in between this? Is there any difference?
I think no, sir.
No, why? See, for example, one or the other day, you will become the CEO of Google. Okay. And they will offer you the least amount, $8. $8 just per week. Will you say okay?
No,
No. If they offer you 1 million, 1 million for a year, Akshay, if the salary is
yes,
offered
sir.
as 1 million, so for $8, you
Ah,
said no. For 1 million, don't you
yeah.
agree?
I'll say yes.
You will say yes. Okay. What about Nikhil? Nikhil S. If you are offered with a job which gives $8 per week, $8 per week, which one will you opt for? $8 per week or 1 million?
The million.
Million, right? See, everybody wishes to become millionaire, right? But the writer says here, he puts a question before us: $8 a week or a million a year? What is the difference? If you ask this question to the mathematician or a wit or to the wise person, what the answer would be? As Akshay and Nikhil have said, the symbol turns like this: 1 million is greater than $8. So the mathematician or a wit or a wise person says that 1 million is greater and that has more value. And he says that $8 has got less value. Yes, correct. Mathematically, it is right. But children, with love, if you think, both are equal. Only when you're in love, this becomes equal. This is mathematically correct. 1 million is greater than $8, correct? But in love, which is greater? Both are not greater, both are equal. And love matters much more than money over here. So when we are in love, love matters more than money, more than $8, more than a million. And this money becomes equal before love. That's what the writer tries to convince us. A mathematician or a wit would give you the wrong answer. And what is the wrong answer? The wrong answer is 1 million is greater than $8. The Magi brought valuable gifts, but that was not among them. They did not sacrifice anything. They sacrificed, but they were rich, they were wealthier. So they brought it and they gave it to the babe in the manger, that was Jesus Christ. They offered. This dark assertion will be illuminated later on. Now, which is the dark assertion? What is meant by dark assertion? The mysterious statement. The mysterious statement is $8 a week or a million a year. This will be illuminated, or this will be lighted up later on. In the next stage, we will come to know, or we will come to know about the reality of that dark assertion that will be illuminated, that will be lighted up in the next stage. 35, line number 35. Jim drew package from his overcoat pocket and threw it upon the table. This was the time to see the gift which was purchased by Jim. Jim drew a package from his overcoat. From the overcoat, he removed a packet and he threw it upon the table. On the table, he threw it. What was it? Don't make any mistake, Dell, he said. About me, I don't think there is anything in the way of a haircut or a shave or a shampoo that could make me like my girl any less. But if you will unwrap that package, you will unwrap that package, you may see why you had me going a while at first. Don't make any mistake, Dell. Did she make any mistake? No, but she had taken her husband wrongly. She had thought that he would fire her, but it was not. About me. About whom? About Jim. He didn't think there was anything in the way of a haircut or a shave or a shampoo that could make him think like his girl any less. Take, for example, you, the beloved child of your parent, however you are, your parents get agreed with you, right? They have taken you for granted. They love you so much. Likewise here, Jim had loved her from heart, not just by physics, not just by her physics. He didn't like her, he didn't love her, he loved her by heart. His love was so pure. We can see the pure love here. The true love can be seen here. But if you will unwrap that package, if you open that package, he is saying to Della, if you open that package, then you will come to know why I behaved like that. So in the beginning, he was shocked, he was not in a condition to understand anything. So after opening that package, Della would come to know the reality and the reason behind the shock of Jim. White fingers and nimble toe. Children, just underline there, don't make any mistake. At the same time, about me, I don't think there is anything in the way of haircut or shave or a shampoo that could make me like my girl any less, huh? Please underline that. But if you will unwrap that package, you may see why you had me going a while at first. Any of the sentence may be given as an extract to you in the examination, so please take note of it. Paragraph number 37. White fingers and nimble tore at the string and paper, and then an ecstatic scream of joy, and then, alas, a quick feminine change to hysterical tears and wails, necessitating the immediate employment of all the comforting powers of the lord of the flat. Now, when Della got that package, with fear, she opened the string and paper that Della had, and then an ecstatic scream of joy. She was excited to see that package. After opening it, she gave an ecstatic scream of joy, and then, alas, she became sad. A quick feminine change. One of a sudden, there was a natural feminine change to hysterical tears. She was uncontrollable to stop her tears. Uncontrollably, she continued her tears. She was unable to control her tears. She was uncontrollable and wails, necessitating the immediate employment, the implementation of her husband to comfort her, made her to cry a lot. Who was the lord of the flat? He was her husband, Jim. Children, if the meeting ends after 5 minutes, join the same link, okay? For there lay the combs, the set of combs, side and back, that Della had worshipped long in a Broadway window. Beautiful combs, pure tortoise shell, with jewel rims. Just the shade to wear in the beautiful vanished hair. So here, what was the gift? That was the combs, the set of combs. The set of combs was brought by Jim, side and back, that Della had worshipped long in a Broadway window. Actually, Broadway is the commercial street in New York, and when she was passing through Broadway, so she had seen the set of combs, and she had worshipped it. She wanted to have it. She wanted to purchase it. Beautiful combs, pure tortoise shell. How was it made? It was made up of tortoise shell with jeweled rims. The edge of no, the edge of that no, the combs were jeweled, just the shade to wear in the beautiful vanished hair. She was not having any opportunity to wear it, but it was very nice. They were expensive combs, she knew, and her heart had simply craved and yearned over them without the least hope of possession. Earlier, when she had seen it in the Broadway window, she wanted to purchase it, but she was not having much more money with her. Her condition was pitiable, so that she was not in a condition to purchase it. But now, even they were hers. So they were hers now. But the tresses, the hair that should have adorned, that should have decorated, they were not there. The hair was not there. She had lost her hair to decorate her hair with that combs. Now the combs were useless to her. But she hugged them to her bosom, and at length she was able to look up with dim eyes and a smile and say, "My hair grows so fast, Jim." Again, she tried to console him by saying that her hair grew fast. Yes, her hair grows fast. And then Della leaped up like a little singed cat and cried, "Oh ho!" How did she cry? She cried like a singed cat, burnt the cat which is burnt lightly, like a cat, like a little cat. She stood up quickly and cried, "Oh ho!" She was happy to have those combs in her hand, which was the present of her husband on the day of Christmas. Jim had not yet seen his beautiful present. She held it out to him eagerly upon her open palm. The dull, precious metal seemed to flash with a reflection of her bright and ardent spirit. Children, join the meeting once again.